Hello, everyone. Helen Yu here at PegaWorld. I am joined by Kerim Akgonul, Chief Product Officer at Pega. Hello, Kerim. So nice to reconnect with you. I really enjoyed your keynote here this week.
Thank you.
Kerim, everyone is racing to adopt AI, but Pega is making a different bet, right? You believe that the real competitive advantage is de-risking that transformation. You also showed us during the keynote yesterday, you showed us how that looks like in practice. So I'd like to unpack that with you a little bit today. But
Great, let's do it.
Yeah, before we do that, your 2-minute version of introduction yesterday, the muffin moment, younger version yourself, captured the audience, right? I'd like you to do a quick introduction to bring that to my audience here as well.
Okay, all right, let me try it. So thank you very much for having me here. Great to see you again. As you said, I run the products at Pega Systems, and we're announcing a bunch of new capabilities and new solutions. And we did have a fun session yesterday.
Yeah.
And I like that it's the muffin moment. I'm glad you don't call it the muffin gate. But the muffin moment was around try to be humorous around the thing that we all experience and take it for granted these days, which is AI is impressive, it's powerful, but it very often gets things wrong. And when it gets things wrong for outputs that is not that important, we forgive it very easily. And when it gets things wrong in a way that is where the output is graphical, we can actually spot it visually. But what happens if the output that is getting wrong is actually for important stuff? Like, for example, how we're going to process your healthcare claim, or how we're going to determine whether you're going to get a loan or not. What if it gets those things wrong?
That'd be a disaster.
That would be a disaster. And what if it gets it wrong in a way that you can't see it? Because it's buried in millions of lines of code, so you don't even know that it's getting it wrong.
Yeah, you know,
And that's a bigger problem than, a family picture looking, less than perfect.
Yeah, although I do like the younger version of yourself. That's a great image, by the way. And Infinity 26 is promised to be the most ambitious release in the past, let's say, decade.
Yeah,
right?
at least, yep.
Yeah, it's not just about speeding things up. It's about doing things right. Also with a focus on de-risking that transformation, AI transformation. So tell us a little bit more, how do you see the organizations doing AI effectively from those who are chasing the AI hypes?
Yeah, so it's a great point. And there's so much excitement, and like you said, there's hype around using AI to build things, right? We're using AI especially to write code, having AI agents to write code. In my experience, and we primarily work with large enterprises with millions of customers, mission critical work. In my experience, the applications that they build, the solutions that they bring to market to engage with their customers, they tend to last for 10 to 15 years. And the initial build of those solutions is really just a moment in time. Whether it takes 2 weeks, 2 months, 4 months, obviously we all try to optimize that. But the life of that actual application solution, that it needs to evolve, it needs to be maintained, it needs to be operationalized, it needs to be kept secure, it needs to be upgraded, it needs to be open to new channels. The majority of the work happens after that initial build. And in my mind, there's the AI hype around this. We'll just have AI agents build stuff. It's not paying enough attention to the next 10 years of what happens to that thing. If you build an entire application with AI agents that are just writing all the code, who understands it? Who knows how it actually fits together? And our solution is more about providing a platform that you leverage AI to assist you to build, to assist you to see, to assist you to understand how it works, to assist you to create testing, but ultimately, it is doing it for you, and it is letting you become more productive and be able to maintain the application, evolve the application, fix the problems, enhance its capabilities, secure it, extend it. And there's a lot of work there. So our Infinity Studio is all around using AI to make you more productive and also give you clear visual depictions of that.
Speaking of that studio, right? Your demo really stood out to me. You literally didn't really prompt. You just say, help me, right? You click AI assistant and you say, help me. AI agent knows exactly what needs to be done. That's unlike any other LLM I've seen, right? You have to prompt, you ask the right question, intelligent one for it to perform. And then there's also no cost or token cost. Tell us a little bit more about.
Absolutely. So what we did basically, first of all, in the back, so our product, this product has been around for a long time. It has a very mature model that understands all the constructs for mission-critical applications, from process definitions to UI, from business rules to predictable rules, from integration points to security. It has a very strong mature set of capabilities that allows you to run mission-critical applications. What we did is we built a collection of skills, AI skills, in front of every single one of those constructs. And then used basically an AI agents layer around those skills to back up that AI assistant, so that the AI assistant, when you're using AI to build and change our product, you're not going to a large language model and asking it to figure out how to do things. You're really keeping it within the skills that the product publishes. And for example, the demo I did was, I had a business requirement to establish an integration point with a third-party system. Well, we know how to do integration. So we built skills that would feed into the AI. And we don't want people to worry about, how do I keep my token costs right? That's not the point. The point is to build a solution that delivers the right outcome for the business so that they can treat their customers with the right service and respect that they deserve. That's the outcome. And there'll be some token use. It's not, in my mind, it's not relevant. It's the outcomes that's what matters.
That predictable outcome, predictable cost, right? Basically, we can get the best of both worlds in the business world. The success story from MetLife, Unum, and many other highly regulated industry was very encouraging to hear. Tell us a little more, right? As a product leader, how do you embed the governance into the product design from day one?
So we believe that a couple of things. First of all, we believe that the creativity of AI, especially Gen AI, because there's in our thinking there are two kinds of AI. There is the generative AI that is great at sort of the creative and the reasoning aspects, and then there is the statistical AI, which is much more math-based and which is much more machine learning-based. It is much better at making predictions based on statistical data, right? So we think that there's a tremendous amount of opportunity to use the generative AI in the creative phase of any project, which is when we're designing. We talk a lot about design because so many people are too often talking about the build. And I know we talked about this before. There's so much talk about building with AI and building with AI. Okay, but what are we building, right? If you look at the journey, ultimately, we all want to run a process, an agent, a service, whatever it is. We want to run something that brings someone value, right? I want to basically update my credit card, or I want to basically change my insurance policy. I want to change the way that I distribute money into my 401k. Something needs to run to meet a human's demand, right? Well, if you're going to run something that is an important business construct, right? It's an important business construct. I have a dispute for a charge. It's important. You have to build it. So that means you're building something important, valuable, right? Mission critical. Well, if you're going to build something that's valuable and mission critical, before you start to build it, well, you better design it, right? That's basically how it works. So I believe the journey from design to build to run is a critical, and using generative AI with all of its incredible, creative, informative research power during the design is a spectacularly valuable
Yeah, that's
use.
where you really bridge the gap from intent to execution, right? With that 3 essential steps: design, build, and run. So thank you for elaborating that. Blueprint is playing much a bigger role, right? I first came to that last Pega last year, and then this year I learned that you've really enriched Blueprint.
Yeah.
And what I learned, I was impressed is that 3 hours assessment to 3 weeks of proof of concept, and then also 3 months to production. You also announced the partnership with AWS Transform. Tell us a little more about that partnership and how kind of the broader role of Blueprint.
Yeah, excellent question. So the AWS has been a close partner of Pega for about 15 years now. And the engagement with the AWS Transform started from a couple of joint clients that were looking to eliminate and migrate from some COBOL solutions that had been running some mission critical processes for more than 25 years, basically. As we all know, these old mainframe applications are still running big parts of large organizations, and people are looking to move, move forward from them.
And
for many reasons.
Omri said the biggest challenge is to understand what those legacy systems really understand what they mean, right? How to really read
and
them.
how does it work, and what does it do?
Yeah.
And hundreds of people wrote some COBOL code 40 years ago.
Oh my God.
They're long gone.
Yeah.
It's doing whatever it's doing.
Yeah.
How do you understand what it is? So people are looking to sort of move away. They were looking to move to cloud native, AI native solutions like Pega. And so we came together with AWS Transform, and what they were building is tools that can read these millions and millions of lines of code and generate a structural descriptor that basically articulates what the code does, what processes it's executing, what data it's gathering, what functionality it's bringing. When they realize that the code that they are analyzing is for an application that is workflow-centric, what they do is they feed that structural outcome directly into Pega's Blueprint, which is the design engine for Pega. So all of a sudden, you can see a graphical depiction of what that application does. You see what processes it runs. You see what the end-to-end journey looks like. What are the actions it provides to the users? What's the data that it's gathering? What's the business rules that it's executing? All of a sudden, you can actually get the code base in a human digestible form. And then you can say, oh, all right, so these are the 55 different processes that are running in here. This is how it does it. Let's reimagine how we want to do this in the future. And Blueprint basically allows them to do that reimagining with that power of Gen AI. And then we can start to build.
That's the kind of superpower we can all get some, right? We wouldn't mind getting.
It is being able to see things
in real time.
In real time is much different than I don't know, like if you're looking at, I don't know, let's say you're in London.
Yeah.
And let's say you're going to take the tube.
Yeah.
Do you want to read a book that explains how all the different tube stations work, or do you want to look at the map that shows you the picture of it does? So I think humans understand these complex systems with visual diagrams, and that's what Blueprint brings to the table. And then we carry that forward to the Infinity Studio so that you can continue to have that visual experience in that next 10 years of maintenance and evolution perspective.
Fascinating, thank you. Customer Engagement Studio caught my attention today, right? Really as a former chief customer officer running a 500 people team at a global company, which I used to spend at least 1 to 2 weeks a quarter to gather my team together. We'll find a location, sometimes in London, sometimes in Paris, and to talk about what would be the next best action for our top 15 or 20 customers. So it would take a lot of manpower to collect information, get everything really together, and we are maybe 80% of correct. Right? But today, Wells Fargo was up on the stage. They talked about 6 billion right?
Right.
Points like connections or behavior, they have to collect the data point. And then we're talking about 200 milliseconds, less than that, decisions.
Right.
And then they're talking about near zero downtime.
Yeah, it
My
works all the
goodness.
time.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then tell us a little more, what's behind the scene to make that work?
So it's a great question, and it's a terrific story. And the way that the Wells Fargo operates, they have about 75, 80 million customers, and they come to their website, came to the mobile channels, to the contact centers. So the offers or the information, the conversations that they present to you, has to make that decision of what to present to you at the moment that the screen is painting.
Yeah.
That's the time that it has.
You turn the screen time to skills
Yeah,
too,
right. Like
Yeah.
in at that immediate moment, and be able to do that for billions and billions and billions of interactions. Well,
And in highly regulated industry
in
too.
a very highly regulated industry, pass all the compliance requirements, all the risk requirements, right,
Amazing.
all that stuff. So, and guess what? That is not a generative AI. That is the statistical AI.
Yes.
And being able to make the predictions and calculate the propensity models to determine for you, for your journey in this channel at this moment in time, based on all the company's strategies and the new products that they're offering, what is the right thing to engage with you at that split second, and be able to run that engagement in real time is basically what Wells Fargo, and talking about it at this great scale. Now the customer engagement studio that you saw is all about how do you prepare for that runtime, and how do you understand the company's campaign, products, data, historical models, real-time models, the risks, the compliance requirements, and be able to have agents that help marketers to sort of navigate all these very sophisticated and intricate relationships to be able to deliver the right treatments and the right offers and create that campaign so that it can be executed at that scale. So that studio, the customer engagement studio, is fully leveraging Pega's expertise with Gen AI, and then the runtime is leveraging Pega's statistical AIs to make the predictions. And that's how they sort of come together.
Wow, that's really the superpower of Pega, right? That's the moat. But my last question here is looking beyond this release, and where do you see the motion that Infinity 26 set for the future of enterprise softwares, and how do you see that Pega is evolving with the rise of agentic AI?
So that's a great question. One of the biggest changes, of course, in the industry is so many people are looking to have agents that are doing work, right? There's basically this movement to create agentic ways to get work done. Well, we've been doing work done for decades through our workflow approach. So one thing that we basically released with Infinity 26 is that every application that you build with Pega and every workflow that is a part within that application is automatically published as an MCP server. So every workflow is an MCP endpoint. That means these automated and predictive workflows that know how to take work and complete it in a compliant and auditable way, and get essentially the work done with zero token cost to the customers, can now participate in that agentic orchestration with a bunch of different AI that is using MCP for its conversation points. So anything that you build in Blueprint right now, if you actually go to Blueprint today, create a workflow, at the end there's a button that says preview my workflow. You can click on that button and you can see what that workflow will look like for humans.
Yep.
And then you can go down to the bottom and there's an MCP button, and then you can see what that workflow will look like for agents.
Wow.
And then you can take that, there's basically a link, you can take that link, go to Claude or Copilot or wherever else, paste that link in there. Now all of a sudden that workflow you just blueprinted is participating in agentic orchestration. And you can do this in under 5 minutes.
I can't wait to go to the Innovation Hub
You should
try it. Yeah,
just try it.
absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kerim. You know, in the world, like with all the AI noise, and you're really providing the real value. That's human confidence, right? Thank you for
pleasure.
your leadership and vision. And I can't wait to see what you got a year from today.
Awesome. We'll be back.
Yeah,
Great.
thanks.
Thank you.